I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you're one of my regular visitors here. And if you are new here, a big welcome to you. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe. So today, I'm bringing you one of my short heads up videos. But this one is specifically for balanced, harmonizing Libra. Libra, the sun sign. So it's if your sun is in Libra or if your rising sign, also known as the ascendant, is Libran, this reading is for you. And it's all about the astrological energies for the month of April 2023. So let's have a look and see what's going on, because there are two parts of your chart that are kind of under the spotlight this month. One is your 7th house, which is Aries. This is the part of your chart that is to do with significant relationships in your life. This is where your soulmate is residing. It's where your really good business partners can be found. It's where those relationships that really mean a lot can be found. And it's Aries, and you've got the sun here. The sun is our life force. So I always think it's lovely when the sun is in our 7th house, because it kind of highlights our relationships and just makes them richer. And the sun is actually going to be conjunct Chiron, which is our wounded healer. And that's on the 5th in this part of your chart. Now, if there's been any difficulties in a relationship, then the sun conjunct Chiron is giving you an opportunity to heal them and smooth troubled waters. So that's good energy right at the beginning of the month. Also, on the 3rd, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to be moving into your 8th house, Taurus, which is the other part of your chart that has a lot of action this month. And this, when Mercury moves into Taurus, it's going to be making quite a hard square. And that's to Pluto, our dwarf planet Pluto, the planet of power, of transformation, of beginnings, of endings. It's in your 5th house. And I just think that there's something about, that there may be lots of things that you love doing, because the 5th house can be maybe our hobbies, especially creative hobbies. And it may be that you're having to look very seriously at your life and decide what stays, what goes. It may be that you've put so much into your day-to-day routine that somehow you can't kind of keep all the juggling balls in the air at once. So that could be that you have a little chat with someone you're close to decide how you can sort of sort out or streamline your kind of the fun side of your life. And you know that's also kind of underlined because Saturn in Pisces is in your 6th house of your day-to-day routine, setting boundaries, containment, really kind of just saying, take your time, just do things that you're really passionate about. Don't rush things, take it easy. And then on the 6th, Libra, we have a full moon in your sign. And this is actually quite a healing moon because it has Chiron making an aspect to it. And it's kind of like emotional healing, and also it's about timing. So there's a lot this month about the necessity for you to be tuned much more in to what to do and when it's the right time to do it. And, you know, the 1st house, which is your house in this event chart, is so much about your identity. And you may have to look with this full moon at what you need to heal in yourself. What perhaps have you been overlooking in you that you need to let go of? Maybe there are things in the past that you need to let go of. By the 11th, the sun will be conjunct Jupiter in your 7th house of significant relationships. So there will be some really good benefits coming from whatever you've initiated at the start of the month. So it's good, helpful energy. And Venus, our planet of relationship, of love, of also money and finance and self-worth, is in Taurus in that 8th part of your chart, but it's moving into Gemini on the 11th. And it will actually make a trine, which is a helpful aspect, to Pluto in Aquarius in your 5th house of entertainment. So there's some really interesting kind of almost contradictory transits going on this month. And I just think that you are being, Pluto is throwing all of us in the air a bit and seeing where we land. And we have to decide what we take with us into the next part of our lives and what really doesn't serve us anymore. And you need to think about that with that Saturn in Pisces in your 6th house. Does how you structure your day-to-day routine, does it really serve you well? And are you paying attention to your psychological health? Because that can come under the realms of Pisces. Now, let's see what else is happening. Yes, we need to look at the new moon in Aries. We have 2 new moons in Aries in the last 28 days, basically. And this is the 2nd of these 2 Aries new moons. It is unusual, but it does happen. And the first new moon was at the 0 degree point of Aries. And this one is right at the very end of Aries. It's at 29 degrees and 49 minutes. That is extraordinary. So it really is at the very end. And that in itself is highly symbolic. So keep that in a part of your mind, that this is a pretty important new moon. Also because it's a solar eclipse. Now, when we have an eclipse and a solar eclipse, it means that the moon is going to partly shadow the sun. So remember, we've got the sun in Aries. So you have to think about what is going on in relationships that is hidden and perhaps needs to be brought out. Excuse me. So that's just something to think about, but it is a healing moon. It may be that there have been aspects of your relationship, if you are in one, that you've kind of both glossed over, and this needs some really serious kind of looking at and focusing on. If you're single, a new moon in this part of the chart could mean that you meet someone new. And it's interesting that it's a solar eclipse, because it may be someone you've already met before, someone you already know, that suddenly comes back into your life. That's my take on that. Now, the sun will go into Taurus on the 20th as well. So we have the new moon first of all, and then the sun moves into Taurus, into your 8th house. On the 21st, Mercury, our planet of communication, turns retrograde in Taurus in your 8th house. And that's until the middle of May, May the 15th. On the 16th of May, Jupiter also moves into your 8th house, into Taurus. So there's a lot going on in that 8th house of yours. So this really is a time for paying attention to that. There's 2 things really. One is to your savings and your future financial planning. That's a really good thing to keep up front in your thinking. And secondly, to what you can do to help yourself grow, to become more of who you are, to become, I want to say, the glorious being that you are, because sometimes, Libra, you tend to stand back and almost keep your light under a bushel, and yet you're such a feisty sign, Libra. You really are. You have some amazing kind of abilities to initiate stuff and get things moving and done. And sometimes you're not so good at doing that with yourself. So the last thing I want to look at is Mars in Cancer in your 10th house of career. Now, Mars in Cancer isn't very comfortable. Remember, Mars is about energy, action, assertion. In Cancer, it's a bit emotional. You could be getting a little bit wound up about something to do with your work, especially because it is squaring. Remember, that's a hard, challenging angle. Chiron, our wounded healer, our asteroid up there in the asteroid belt, it would be, wouldn't it? In Aries in the 7th. So it might be that whatever it is that you do in terms of whether you're working, whether it's just a hobby, a passion that you are, very involved in and immersed in, it could be that a partner just gets your goat a bit and kind of irritates you, and you kind of flare up and get all emotional about it. So just bear that in mind. It doesn't last long, that transit, but it's just something that's around. So there we go. That's the month of April for you. Very briefly with the headlines. There will be various heads up as we go through the month so that we can see what is unfolding. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, Libra. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.